Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to Jay Speak. This week we cover questions. First question, is it possible to use the Marshall Studio Classic 20 at low volume in 5-watt mode for bedroom practice? Yeah, I think so. I think you could get away with that. Again, 5 watts in tube format is still loud. I think it really kind of depends on your cabinet. If you're playing through a 112, you're probably okay. 212 maybe, 412 probably not. Again, it really just depends on your setup, you know, how close you are to, you know, everyone else in the house, whether that's bedroom appropriate. But yeah, I think that's fine. Question 2, what do I think of the Marshall Astoria Dual against the Friedman Wildwood 20? I've never played the Wildwood 20, but having played the Wildwood Pink Taco and some of the other 20-watt Friedmans, if you need a 20-watter, I'm sure that's fantastic. As far as comparing to an Astoria is really different. I don't think it sounds like a Friedman, and I don't think a Friedman sounds like an Astoria. I think they are different enough where, you know, having both is probably a good idea if you're into those UK sounds. You know, out of all of them, I kind of enjoyed them all. I think I like the custom and the dual probably the best. The classic is good too. I don't think it's a bad amplifier by any means, but I really like the custom. I thought the custom was a really great amp, and I like the foot switchable dual as well because I think that's really useful. But any of the Friedman stuff is great. I think the Friedmans are just more refined than Marshall's, and Marshall's got that like little extra hair on it, those upper mids and those kinds of things, where the Friedman is probably a little more mid-focused. Maybe not the high mids, but more mid. I don't think comparing them is necessarily apples and apples. You know, it's kind of like different kinds of apples, like a Gala and a Red Delicious or something, where it's still that same flavor, it's just not exactly the same. So I don't think one is better than the other necessarily. I would say if you have a chance to pick up an Astoria at this point, just because they're not making them anymore, maybe go that route, because the Wildwood 20 should be around for a little while. Question 3, do I try to keep up with gear trends? I think I try to explore some of the new things that are out there and see if it's helpful or it sounds good or it's something that I like. You know, keeping up with NAMM's a pretty good idea and kind of like a baseline for the industry. One manufacturer does something and then it kind of rolls out through everybody else, especially in pedal and amp form. Guitars are a little different. Manufacturers kind of stick to their guns and kind of do the same thing over and over again. But then there's some other ones that kind of change the game, but they're all relatively the same. They all kind of do their own thing though. So I haven't gotten into Sparks or, you know, a lot of the modeling type stuff. I think in the beginning I tried a couple things and it just was not my thing. I try to keep up with pedals just because I really like pedals. I think that's kind of the more appropriate thing to keep up with, but that's also exhausting. I think pedals, because there's so many different manufacturers that make some really cool stuff, it's kind of endless. So that might be the worst possible thing to try to keep up with. But as far as like gear trends, and if you mean it in the way of using front of house or kind of captor units or any of that kind of stuff live, you know, not really. When I play live, it is still through a head and a cab. I've done a couple gigs where I did the Friedman JJ. I ran that one direct out because the head could do it, and that worked great. And I used my cab as a monitor, so that was really awesome. I would actually like to pick up a Captor X and try that live, but I've been playing acoustic gigs recently, just because places don't seem to want drummers around here, and trying to find a drummer is pretty difficult. So the group I'm playing with, we've done acoustic stuff, and that's worked well, and I just plug my acoustic in. But as far as gear trends, I don't consider myself totally up to date trying everything. It's definitely things that I want to try, that I'm interested in, that I go for, and those are usually the things you see on the channel. Question 4, the Mesa Head Track. Is it 150 watts total into the unit or 150 watts per head? Yes, you can. You can use 150 watt amplifiers for a total of 300 watts. You could use 2 Mesa triple rectifiers at 150 watts each into the Mesa Head Track into one cab. Or you could use 2 100 watt amplifiers, or 150 watt and 100 watt or 50 watt or whatever you want to do. So yeah, you can do that. As always, if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. As always, thanks for watching. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Many more videos to come. Don't miss one sub.